vision of which His Excellency has rightly identified and thanked him for. Please, if your hands are not busy, help me specially appreciate His Excellency Chief Timipre Silva, CON, for that very succinct, timely word. Very quickly, we will get on with some special remarks now. Once again, thank you all for your time. Every one of you means so much to the foundation. Just a rundown of the program. We'll get on with some special remarks now, and I want to believe that the recipients would help us keep to time, manage time, so to say. If we can keep it within 2 minutes each, we'll be so grateful. We know we have a lot to say, but then again, it shouldn't end at our remarks, because this vision will not run on its own. We need every one of you, your commitment, both in kind and, of course, financial. At the end of the day, we'll also be launching a magazine that has encapsulated everything we have done thus far. And just so you know, the foundation has been run thus far courtesy of Uwais Mewada Abdullahi. But then again, you know, when Almighty Allah, the most merciful and benevolent, gives you a dream, gives you a vision, oftentimes He raises people to hold your hands, to help you through it. And what more better people can we ask of Almighty Allah, if not every one of you seated here? We believe that in 5 years to come, 10 years to come, the impact that this foundation would have made, every one of you will be proud of yourselves. In the course of the event, we'll launch these magazines, and we're certain that it wouldn't end there, but even post this event, we'll get to see and hold hands together to make this dream a reality. For the special remarks, to kickstart, we have a few persons, from our honorable members to our former Minister for Transportation, and of course, to our Royal Father. Immediately after that, we will crave indulgence to take you through a short documentary of the journey thus far of the Uwais Mewada Foundation. But before then, I'd like to recognize very specially a perfect gentleman. He's not one who wants to be seen, but he loves to work from behind the scenes. No wonder he was made the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Southeast Development Commission. This is one man that antecedents has it that he has always had his people at heart, and Nigeria in general. As a broadcast journalist that I am in the media space, we read up on every one of these people, we know them. But this man, help me jam your hands together for Honorable Professor Paul S. Namchi. Please, a round of applause for him. Can we celebrate him? He is here. And he will be part of our panelists much later, because he's a man of uncommon wisdom. And trust me, you will be glad that you hear him speak. To kickstart this special remarks, ladies and gentlemen, a true friend to the ED and the foundation itself. She stands out. I call her the true African lady. She's never afraid to speak to power, even her party. If you're doing it right, this honorable member will commend you. If you're doing it wrong, she will tell you the truth as well. We're honored to have her here to be part of this journey. Please, as I make welcome for her special remark, ladies first, ladies and gentlemen, Right Honorable Mariam Onoha. Please, a round of applause for her. Keep clapping till she gets here. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for making our time to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellencies, my parents here, always my brother. May I respectfully adopt the protocol as established, but I will specially recognize my colleagues who have turned out in their numbers. Thank you for coming to support my brother Uwais. I want to extend my congratulations, not just a goodwill remark, to my brother Uwais for living his dream. My first-hand experience and knowledge of the ED and the man whose vision we are celebrating today is that of doggedness, tolerance, perseverance, industry, challenge, and goal-oriented person. I would say that Uwais is an example for Nigerian youth of today. Chairing the House Committee on TED Fund, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, and other services, I sit on a committee of over 50, and with the support of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, who has empowered us as members of that committee to work with other relevant education committees. I have my brother committee chair here, who is representing one of your board of trustees, but he is a partner in the education committee. He chairs the basic education committee, Honorable Mark Hussaini. I want to commit to a partnership that will not only work with you, but support the Uwais Mayweather Foundation to see that your projects, which align with the intent of TED Fund and our intervention areas, would come to play for you. Let me also mention some of the areas that TED Fund is sponsoring, not just tertiary institutions, but supporting incubation centers, such as the Innovate program, where TED Fund is funding scholars, not just to produce reports which will gather dust in our libraries, but to turn them into enterprise where people can buy products to meet infrastructure gap and commercialize them to promote our industry and economy and livelihood support. The Ministry of Education, with sponsorship also from TED Fund, is embarking on the TVET program, which we all know is improving the technology and skills for our graduates and undergraduates within the education space, so that you can take advantage of the opportunity and go on to the website, TVET website, register, so that you don't just graduate with paper knowledge, but you have hands-on experience with funding and stipends, set up funds from the fund to also support your young industry and enterprise. This government has also worked in collaboration with the National Assembly to propose and pass the student loan scheme, where Nigerian youth from resource-poor families can apply and get loans to advance their educational pursuits. I'm saying all of this because this foundation and a theme for today is on education, so that we can take advantage of the opportunities that are there and get ourselves educated, because the basic need of this nation is education. If we get the foundation right, then we have solved kidnapping, we have solved insurgency, we have surged all other forms of insecurity and hunger to an extent. So I encourage us to imbibe education and especially skills development. So on behalf of myself and the people of Okigwe North Federal Constituency, I'll partner with this foundation. And as a mother and as a female representative and also a woman, we want to work with the Uwais Foundation and see that a lot more women are a part of this program and this foundation. Because if you empower a woman, you actually have empowered the nation, especially when you give that woman the right education and the tools which will come from this forum. So communicate with us as regards the launch of the magazine. You'll be sure to have not just my emotional or mentorship support, but our financial support, because we need funds to push these programs going. So I support Uwais. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please, can we make our hands louder for Honorable Miriam Onoha? Thank you very much, Honorable Ma'am, for committing. I can attribute that to, of course, the clarion call by His Excellency, the former governor of Bayelsa State and the former minister of State for Petroleum. Up next, very quickly, he's our older brother. One thing about him is that when it comes to education, he's at the forefront. Whilst we were growing, he made sure that our report cards did not have any issue at all. If you fail in school, he will still encourage you, but be rest assured that you're not getting any stipend from him. But beyond that, through high school, college, he was very supportive. No wonder when he became the Speaker of the Taraba State House of Assembly, even the members then understood that he meant business, because education is true, the bedrock of any developing or developed country. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as I make welcome for his remark, help me jam your hands together for Right Honorable Mark Bako Useni, who is here representing distinguished Senator Emmanuel Boacha, but he will deliver his remarks on their behalf. Please, a round of applause for him. Make it louder. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, my Lord, very distinguished honorable members, the Executive Director, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I find it a pleasure to be here on this very important platform to share with one of us in his vision for our country. I have been mandated to attend this program by one of the members of the Board of Directors, in person of Senator Emmanuel Boacha, who has told me how much he cherishes this foundation. And so I'm glad that I'm part of this record-making event. Just like my sister has earlier spoken, His Excellency Governor Silva has set the tune for this very important event. I am privileged to be the chairman of the House of Reps Committee on Basic Education. And I can understand what we have out there as far as out-of-school children is concerned. It can be said easily, but what we have out there is scary. It requires that every concerned Nigerian should come on board to take a step to ensure that the unfortunate trend is reversed. For us to sleep peacefully, we must ensure that every child is educated. And so I want to align myself with the vision of the Uwais Mewada Foundation in ensuring that he takes very positive steps to ensure that education becomes at the front burner of his activities. I want to use this medium to encourage other well-meaning Nigerians to borrow a leaf from what this foundation is doing already. I have gone through the activities of the foundation over the past 1 year, and I discovered that the foundation has reached out to schools, to students, to ensure that they are better educated. And so I want to, on behalf of myself and the Committee on Basic Education, which I chair, to assure this foundation that my committee is readily available as a partner to ensure that this very important vision is achieved. Once again, I want to assure you that we'll always be available to engage with you and to make contributions to ensure that you succeed. Thank you most sincerely, and may God bless all of us. Thank you.
Please, can we make it louder once again for Right Honorable Mark Hussaini? We have had two commitments now, or rather three. I'd like to say two, because that of His Excellency, the former governor of Bayelsa State and former honorable minister is standard. He is not going anywhere. He's our father. So his commitment, whether he likes it or not, his commitment is 100. And now we have, of course, the commitment of Honorable Mariam Onuoha, and of course that of Right Honorable Mark Hussaini. Up next, the next three persons I'll be calling on in this order. We'll have two more honorable members, I beg your pardon, one, and then we'll have the former minister for transportation, and then our royal father will wrap it all up before we get into the documentary. Please, if your hands are not busy, help me jam them together as I make welcome the member representing Bindi Mani Federal Constituency. He is representing Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji. Please help me make welcome Honorable Ahmed Yusuf Doro as he comes forward for his goodwill message. He's been here since 9 a.m. Please, can we celebrate him, please? Thank you very much.
Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Good afternoon all, and let me stand with the already established protocol. I'm here to represent my colleague and boss, Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji, who is supposed to be here this morning with you, or this afternoon rather, but unfortunately due to other commitments, he couldn't make it and asked me to represent him. On arrival here, I've seen a lot of colleagues, and His Excellency, the Honorable Minister and former Governor of Bayelsa State, and a couple of other friends that they are here seated, signifies the importance of this gathering, and also issues raised particularly by the Honorable Minister, underscore the very important need for us to work all together to solve the issue of out of school children. There is no doubt that education is key to solving social vices and problems that threaten the very existence of this country. My brothers and sisters, without much ado, I would like to state a commitment from my boss to support this foundation with a sum of 5 million naira. And also myself, in my capacity, I also pledge to support this foundation with a sum of 1 million naira. Thank you so much. May God see us through. Thank you.
If not for anything, for the commitment and donation, I thought you'd make it louder for Honorable Doji, please. Make it louder, make it louder. That is to tell you that not just one, not just two. Please, can all the students in our midst, can you stand up? Students, all the students, can you stand up? From the various schools we have here, can you stand? Those of us who have gone through school, whether private or public, me in our community school I go, please, can we celebrate these future leaders? Can we celebrate them with a round of applause? Please, can we make it louder, make it louder, make it louder. Let us let them know that the future is secure with Uwais Mayweather Foundation. Make it louder, please, make it louder. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all can have your seats. Thank you, thank you. Up next, a former Minister of Transportation, also a visionary. One man that during his time as an honorable minister, there were various policies that he implemented, and the then president was super proud of him. Till today, he's very available for national assignment. No wonder when we reached out to him from the foundation, he promised that he was going to be here in person, and here he is with us. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the man who epitomizes humility, you can see even before I announced him, he's coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Muazu Jaji Sambo, the former Minister for Transportation. We're honored to have you here, sir.
Chairman, Board of Trustees of the Uwais Mayawada Foundation, please permit me to stand on already established protocol by the Master of Ceremony. However, in doing that, I would not forget to recognize especially my brother, and on one side, on another side, my father, depending on the mirror from which you are looking at our relationship. And that is the gentleman who, together with his amiable wife, are responsible for bringing Uwais to this world. May I specially recognize Honorable Mr. Justice Ridwan Mayawada Abdullahi and our amiable mother seated next to him, here to give support to my friend and brother Uwais. Now, when I told Uwais that I was going to come and asked him why he wanted me to make any remarks, what it was all about, and I discovered that it has to do with education, especially the empowerment of our youths. I decided to put something on paper. I was not just going to come here and congratulate Uwais for this wonderful initiative, nor even pledge a support financially, but to also make some remarks that in my opinion, would help guide conversations around the theme of today's conversation or discussions. And so you will please bear with me. I may not take exactly 2 minutes. It may be 1 minute more than the 3 minutes allocated by the Master of Ceremony. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's population is overwhelmingly young. Over 70% of Nigerians are below 35 years. I want that to please sink in. While you're thinking about that, remember also from statistics available that by the year 2030, our population will exceed 260 million. And going forward, inching towards 400 million by the year 2050, making Nigeria the third largest country in the world after China in Nigeria. This growth is outpacing the growth of an economy that expanded by just 3.13% in the first quarter of this year. In the first quarter of the year. Now, youth unemployment remains one of our most pressing challenges, particularly for young graduates entering an increasingly constrained job market. Now, projections suggest a national unemployment rate of around 5%, yet more than 10% of our youths are neither in school nor in work, nor in training. In short, we are a predominantly youthful population with modest GDP growth and an elevated levels of unemployment. We are sitting, ladies and gentlemen, on a ticking socio-economic time bomb. Unless we decisively establish a paradigm shift towards ensuring or prioritizing a skills-first education and enterprise-driven development. It is a privilege to address this critical issue at this foundation to ensure that education and enterprise do not run on parallel tracks, but merge into a single reinforced pathway, one underpinned by digital skills, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Across Nigeria, we have millions of young people with immense talent and untapped potential. We must embed skill acquisition within our school systems and elevate its social value, so our youth don't merely seek employment, but also become creators of employment. The framing of today's theme, advancing youth employment and enterprise through skills integration in education, is not only apt, but urgently needed. Let me be frank. Our educational system no longer matches the pace of 21st century demands. I will not go so far as to call it obsolete, but it is undeniable that it requires structural reform. Education must be holistic. Degrees provide theoretical foundations and critical thinking frameworks, but it is drive execution. Yet how many of our graduates can work or are even qualified to work in their fields of study? The gap is skills. The solution is integration. So the question is, how do we integrate academic knowledge with practical skill acquisition in our schools? Let me offer 3 key points to guide the conversation. First, curriculum re-engineering. We must embed digital and practical competencies, such as artificial intelligence, communication, and problem solving directly into the core curriculum, not just as electives. Our universities should become innovation hubs, hosting labs and incubators that produce not only thinkers and designers, but also doers and builders. Second, we should reframe our mindset about prestige. We must de-emphasize the notion that every Nigerian must adapt the system and modernize it to include digital traits. Our young people must find dignity and income in skills and craftsmanship, just as they do in certificates. One thing is clear: our current institutions are not yet delivering this vision. That must change. In conclusion, I commend Amumaf for convening the right stakeholders and creating a platform for meaningful dialogue. I hope this forum fosters bold ideas, deep reflection, and concrete commitments that shape a more sustainable future for Nigeria's youth. Our most valuable capital asset is our young population, as already enunciated by His Excellency Governor Timi Silva. To ensure inclusive national development, we must prioritize them. It is in our enlightened self-interest to equip our youth with cutting-edge skills and platforms to stem unemployment, drive digital inclusion, spark entrepreneurship, and catalyze sustainable, inclusive growth. Thank you all, and may God bless this foundation, and God bless the youth of Nigeria and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As I go back to my seat, I'd like to assure Uwais that I have a financial contribution to make to this foundation in order to let him know that I not only support him in words, but I also support him in deeds, and indeed from my pocket. I want to support his initiative with the sum of 5 million naira. Thank you.
Please, can we give him a 5 million naira applause? Please, can we make it louder? Make it louder. Make it louder. He isn't just a man who talks the talks, but he walks the talk, as a matter of fact. Whilst he was delivering that very in-depth paper, I was taking notes. And I can relate to what he said about the need to inculcate skills acquisition into our curriculum at schools. I personally, for one, a graduate of applied geophysics, first and second degree. But then again today, yes, I can see the surprise on the face of the Honorable Commissioner from Enugu State. Then again, many people will say, so what are you doing as a public speaker? Which I'm not just a public speaker, also a voiceover artist. I have voiced for brands, some of which some of you are using their gadgets right now as we speak. But then again, I realized I had a skill of public speaking, and I honed it. Oftentimes when I tell people, a graduate of applied geophysics, that is who I am, it's very hard for them to believe. But imagine if we have a curriculum where you can, maybe in school, hone your skill. You might be an artist, you know how to draw, you know how to make music, you know how to produce documentaries, voiceovers, campaigns, and what have you. At the end of the day, His Excellency, the former governor of Bayelsa State, might decide to employ you and tell you, okay, give me a media plan, and I need you to voice XYZ campaigns for XYZ. And His Excellency is a man that pays very well. He does not just pay you for your talent, he will pay you for your time, he will pay you for just being a human being. So to the youths we have today, you don't have to wait for the jobs out there. You can actually create jobs. Because as I am now, I have multiple content creators that I can call on to cover events for me. I have my team. I've also continued to train people on the art of being a voiceover artist. So you also can begin to think about that. And that is why I totally agree with the former minister, Honorable Minister of Transportation. Indeed, I think, sir, you should be recalled to be the Honorable Minister for Education. Maybe, anyway, I will look about that. Please, a round of applause for him once again. Thank you so very much, sir, for that in-depth paper. And if it's possible, sir, if we can have that speech of yours sent to the foundation, we need to have it in our archives as well. Up next is a man. He is a Leonard Silk, but with style. He's utterly intelligent. Whenever he handles your case, I am not, in today's parlance of Gen Zs, I am not capping. If he handles your case, be rest assured that you will win that case. He is the principal partner at Ojukwu & Co. Ladies and gentlemen, help me make welcome a true brother and friend to the ED of Uwais Mewada Foundation, Chika Osolu Ojukwu. Please, a round of applause, SAN. A round of applause for him, please. A round of applause.
My Lord, Your Excellencies, may I stand on established protocol. I will give a proverb that captures the current state of the nation about education. And it says that when a child is not embraced by the village, the entire village, the child now bonds the village to feel the warmth of the village. With that, I say that the ways Mayweather Foundation is a foundation that has now bring a beacon of hope to ameliorate the effect of this adage I earlier referred to. By giving access to education to those who cannot afford it, and by giving that education to them, it has a multiplier effect in the nation, in solving crimes, in solving juvenile delinquencies that have overtaken the nation at the moment. So my brother and the board, I congratulate you on this auspicious occasion. I congratulate you for partnering with Nigeria to reduce the security tension in the nation by educating a lot of people. Because when the highest gift anyone can give to a child is education. Because without education, I will not stand here today. Without education, maybe the Honorable Minister will not be here today. But we all got it, and we are what we are today because of education. And that is what our brother is giving to everyone who doesn't have it through the foundation. On my part, I'm not a government official. I'm a legal practitioner, very small filing of court processes and going there. So my own will be different. So the foundation, I will give a token of 5 million naira each year for 4 years. Thank you.
Can we give him a 20 million naira applause, please? And I might get into trouble for this, but I want to believe legal advice also, he will provide that for us at the Ways Miwanda Foundation. Please, a round of applause. He said yes. Please, a round of applause as well. So we are covered. Ways, okay, so we should go and look for trouble, right? No, we don't look for trouble. We're about impacting lives. And that is exactly what Uwais breeds. Each time you are having a conversation with Uwais, the next thing he tells you, bro, I was at this place, Najegwagwa, the school I saw there. Look, before December, we need to do something. That is how dedicated he is to this course Almighty Allah, the most merciful and kind, has put him on. Please, one more time, can we celebrate Chika Solo Juku SAN for that wonderful, wonderful speech. And last but not the least for this segment, I'd like to make welcome our royal father of the day. Although he's ably represented here by a father to us, he means so much to us, and we thank him for his time thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman, SEC, and also the Katukan Kefi, please can we jam our hands together as I make welcome my father, Alhaji Meriga Aliyu, as he comes forward to deliver his remarks. Please can we jam our hands together for him? Can we make it louder? Please, thank you very much.
In the name of God, the beneficent and the merciful. Mr. Chairman of the board, with your permission, I want to stand on the established protocol, particularly where the time is already against us. The Emir of Kefi, whom I'm representing, would certainly be here if not for an urgent and official royal engagement that had to make him to be away. It was just this morning that he had the engagement and he had to call my attention to please represent him, particularly in an occasion that he regards very, very important. When everybody comes up here, he talks of education, and certainly that is the usual and the particular item that he's always having in his mind. Education, education, because he feels once you are educated, you are more than 50% on your way to success. So please, he sends his apologies for not being here in person, but he is deeply aligned with the mission and vision of the Uwais Meweda Foundation. The theme of today's forum, which is building opportunities, education and enterprise and empowerment for the new Nigeria, is certainly a good theme at this particular time. In our traditional institutions, we have long understood that a society is only as strong as its most vulnerable. This is why we're actively working with stakeholders to bridge development gaps through education, skills, and social investments. Education is not just a right, it is the most enduring form of empowerment. Enterprise unlocks self-reliance, and when we empower women and youth, we empower the entire communities. On behalf of His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, I urge all stakeholders, government, private sector, civil society, and traditional institutions to rally behind the Uwais Meweda Foundation initiatives. Let us translate this dialogue into concrete partnerships and policies that touch lives of the grassroots to the center. May the outcome of this forum inspire new Nigeria, a one defined not by its challenges, but its collective resolve to rise above them. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Please, can we make it louder for our Royal Father? Please make it louder, make it louder. Whilst he was about starting his speech, we had one of the finest female police officers in the world walk into the space. Your Excellencies, my Lord, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please help me jam your hands together as I recognize very specially AIG Aishatu Abakar Baju. Please, a round of applause for her. Make it louder, make it louder. You can get her number later in case you're in trouble, and she will swiftly send dispatch to you, yeah? We're honored to have you here, ma'am. And Adua Mike, you might just be IG sometime to come, inshallah. We're hopeful. Anyway, the next few items, Your Excellencies, my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, the story of how far you have come, if not well documented, will be told by someone who didn't start with you. In House of Parlance, I'd like to quote, Akachewe Waka by Kimmeshi Efidadi. The way Davido or Whiskey or Burna Boy will sing their song, it might just be the best, better than the way Uwais will sing it. And that is why the next thing you would be seeing on the multimedia screen in front of you is a story of the journey thus far of the Uwais Meweda Foundation, so that when you are committing to holding our hands, to impacting our generation, to impacting humanity through education, enterprise, and opportunities, you will know that you are in the best place. Immediately after that, we'll have the keynote address by, of course, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, who is ably represented here by his able commissioner, and then the panel session will start. All these we intend not to spend more than 30 minutes so that we go straight into the luncheon of the magazine, and then in the next 1 hour tops, we'll be done, have more pictures, and then we can get back to activities for today. Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, please fix your eyes on the multimedia screen for the documentary.
I have tremendous respect for the vision and mission of this NGO. Not because I sit on the board, no, but because of the practical or the impactful programs the board or the organization had demonstrated over the years.
I will say that the Uwais Mayweather Foundation, Aid Foundation, is already doing what all of us should do. In Nigeria today, there are a lot of armchair critics who sit down and they criticize everything without really doing anything to contribute to the development of Nigeria, of our people.
My name is Uwais Mayweather Abdullahi, founder and executive director of Uwais Mayweather Aid Foundation. We started Uwais Mayweather Aid Foundation as a cause to create the change that we want to see in the society that we live in. Change is not something that we just rely on the government to bring about, but is a responsibility for every individual. And that gave us the platform to start Uwais Mayweather Aid Foundation so that we can be heard, so that we can be seen, so that we can collectively bring about the change that we want to see in terms of education, healthcare sector, entrepreneurship, bringing that change in people, changing the mindset of our people.
I want to use this medium to appreciate the Uwais Mayweather Foundation for bringing a library to the school. In fact, when I came into the school as a new principal, I went into the library, I saw the library, I was amazed because it's hard for schools like this now, most especially public schools, to have a set of library like this.
I'm a student of GSS Yolua. I want to thank the Uwais Mayweather Aid Foundation for building the library for us. This library has been very useful to us. We go there to study during the break time. When we are less busy in the class, we go there to study. We do our homework there. We don't have textbooks at home, we do our homework there.
I will say, and I always say this, that the best resource, the biggest resource Nigeria has is the human resource that we have. Unfortunately, we have not tapped into this resource. How do we tap into this human resource? It's by educating this human resource, making them useful. So anybody who gets involved in this sector, in educating our people, is doing for the country what the country needs most. Kudos to Uwais. It will always have my support.
If every NGO across the nation could pursue this similar objective, I am sure government's role in carrying out development to the rural area will have been significantly minimized or reduced, because this is a typical example of the private partnership enterprise that is being spoken about often at times. So I want to encourage people across the landscape to partake in the forthcoming event, and I want to personally invite all of you out there to come and take part in this event.
We're calling on everyone to put our hands together, to train out-of-school children, to put at least a number of 20,000 to 50,000 in the next 2 years. Also, to train youths, 10,000 in 1 year is achievable. We have done the maths based on the skill and the job that they want to do. It's doable. Let's achieve this together. Also support women and widows and single mothers that don't even know the whereabouts of their fathers, that are left to cater for the kids. Let's support 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 in the next 3 years. This is achievable.
Uwais Mayweather Foundation.
Together, we all can.
Uwais Mayweather Aid Foundation. Together, we all can.
Yes, you can do better than that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Everything that you need to be convinced to be part of this journey, I believe it has been captured in that video. If you're still in doubt, it's okay. Yeah, you can come by the office and we'll make sure that you are beyond every reasonable doubt convinced that 10,000 children can be put back to school, even 20,000, just as echoed by the executive director. Now to the crux of the event today. We will start with a keynote address, and then we'll have our panel discussion. Our panelists today, first off, I mentioned as a man who has his people at heart, just so to prompt them to prepare. The Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Southeast Development Commission. We can't wait to hear from his wealth of knowledge. Not just him alone. The Executive Director, Child Rights Foundation, will also be on the panel. I'm talking about Ms. Aisha Abdullahi Adamu. And also, an amazingly intelligent, smart woman, the founder of Bodhi, and also the managing director, OTEC Microfinance Bank, Ms. Fatima Askira Satomi, will also be on the panel. And last but not the least, a man who will be wearing two hats today. First, as a keynote speaker, representing the executive governor of Enugu State, His Excellency, and of course, he will be speaking on the panel as well when the time is right. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if your hands are not busy, help me jam them together as I make welcome for the keynote speech, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubusumba, ably represented by a very strong man in Enugu State, the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Urban Development, Enugu State, Barrister Chima Okorie. Please make it louder for him. Thank you very much. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, students. Is everybody happy? Good. So good to have you here. The chairman of the board of the Uwais Mayweather Foundation,